Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to this conference preview for the opening round of the Women's Basketball HCAC Tournament. I'm Aaron Schneider, the Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us today is Anderson Women's Basketball Head Coach Lindsay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Aaron. Thanks for having me, and we're excited to get the postseason kicked off.
Yeah, and it's great to be home to open here for the first round. We play here tonight at 7. So the Ravens, they're coming off a 5-6 season with some strong wins along the way. If you can tell us a little bit about your takeaway for the Ravens regular season this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've only played 11 games, but we're really thankful that we've gotten to play those 11 games, and we've done so without first team all conference selection Peyton Moore. So I think the start of the season, we obviously opened with a tough opponent in Transylvania, and it took us a little bit of time to figure out how to play without Peyton, especially on the offensive end of the court. And I think we really found our groove there. And then obviously we struggled against Hanover, but I was pleased with our effort in the second game against them. So we came away with some good quality wins during that stretch, and hopefully our players have confidence going into the postseason tournament.
And one thing I guess I kind of want to ask about real quick, where because of COVID schedule changes, we had the opportunity to take on Transylvania a third time, and we actually got the win out of that. What did you see out of that? What did you see differently from the first two times?
Well, I think actually, so obviously the first time was, I think we lost by 20 points or something. But the second time, I think they beat us maybe 65-60. Mm-hmm. And I felt like we controlled that game a little bit better. And then unfortunately, Jade Shipley went down with an ankle injury in the middle of that. And so sort of in the midst of that, trying to figure out how to play without our point guard on the court at the time. So the second game and the third game, I felt like were similar. And then I think after seeing the success we had in the second game, we had confidence the third time around. And obviously we played well enough to beat them that time.
Yeah, and actually in that second game, there's a large stretch that we were winning in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think I felt like we controlled the tempo and what we wanted to do for the most part of that game. And then obviously Kellyon, their sophomore point guard, just sort of took over in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Okay, so looking at for tonight's game, we play Defiance. We haven't played them yet this year. So what are your expectations for Defiance in tonight's game?
Well, ironically, we were supposed to play Defiance that weekend that we ended up playing Transylvania a third time. So it is a bit interesting going into the tournament, having not played the team before. That's never happened. But what we know is historically our games with Defiance have always been really close and good games. I think we may have had 2 overtime games against them recently. I know we've had one for sure. But in some ways we play similarly in the way that we defend. So I would expect the tempo of the game to be how we're both comfortable, I guess. They play a lot of people and have a lot of different players who can step up at any point in time. So we're going to have to be aware of our matchups and aware of their personnel tendencies, but think it'll be a good game tonight.
Okay, and then finally, what does your team need to do tonight to be successful?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is if you take out the Hanover games where, I don't know, we gave up 80 points and scored 60 or something, the most we've scored I think, is 62 points, or I don't know exactly, it doesn't matter, but we have to defend. We have to defend for 40 minutes. We can't think that we can come out and take a quarter off. So what I'm hoping is that we see 40 minutes of intense focus defensively, that we're really disciplined there, because we're certainly not going to outscore people. So there's not a lot of margin for error. And I feel like we have a good game plan, and I feel like our players are confident in it. And it's a matter of executing it for 40 minutes and the whole tournament theme of survive and advance.
All right. Well, I think I've covered the questions I want to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along for more season preview, more conference preview interviews, along with being sure to follow along with your Ravens for tonight's game. And then Coach Shea, thank you for joining us, and good luck in tonight's matchup.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.